So the Hasbro reveal panel from the MegaCon in Orlando has ended, and we now know what our next Transformers Haslab item will be for 2025. People have rumored about it. There was a lot of speculation, and now we finally have it here today. Let's talk about the Transformers Haslab Transformers Victory Liokaiser Combiner Team. So I'm not going to go into who this is. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. Again, it's continuing off of, hey, we got Victory Saber, we got Deathsaurus. Why not then do another one of the Transformer Victory characters? In this case, the giant combiner team of Liokaiser from the Destrons, aka the Decepticons. I think it looks great. It's a good update. I mean, it's also one of those characters that really you don't have many options if you want to own a modern version of them. I mean, you have the original toy that's worth a ton of money today, complete, and has GPS problems. We'll get into that in a moment. You have like a model kit. You have one that I worked on in 2016. You don't really have many options, and all of them are not really the best option. This is probably the best way to go about it. But let's break it down. So, of course, you get the full figure and everything. But let's go through the individual members and how those guys turned out, because we want to have that super animation accuracy and have something that represents them well, because these were characters in the show, and the original toys didn't really convey those as well. So you got Liozak, the leader, also known as Liozak, depending how you want to pronounce it the Japanese way. He turned into an F-15 Tomcat. It looks really good how they turned out here. It's kind of a mixture of the toy style with as best that they can with the animation style. I really like how the heads turned out on them. They're breast masters, or I'm sure they're going to call them chest masters here. You have lion breast is present, or lion chest, I guess they're going to call it. Transforms into the Leo cannon. Looks great. I mean, I like how these guys look. Guy Hawk, he comes with the Hawk breast, turns into the Hawk cannon. He was a MiG-29 fighter jet. Also looks great. I love his head sculpt on here. This one's interesting, primarily because I had a little bit to do with the trademarking in the past. So with the promotion video that they put out here, they put Elbat. And I was like, are they going to go with Elbat for Hellbat? It's supposed to be Hellbat. Are they going to go with Elbat? I mean, so he's a Spanish, Decepticon now? I don't know. But then in other promotional images, I see Hellbat, so I'm going to assume it's going to be Hellbat in this one. It's a Hasbro Pulse item. They could be a little more hard edge with these. I mean, when we did the box set back in 2016, we went on Fellbat, and there was at one point it was going to be Yellbat, and then we fell on Fellbat. Anyway, so he's pretty cool too. He's the Dassault fighter jet. He's that kind of you have two Starscreams in the team. You have Liozak, that's like a Starscream character, but then you have like Fellbat, or Yellbat, or Hellbat. We're gonna go with Hellbat here. Hellbat, that's a like a skeezy kind of cowardly Starscream character, and he comes with the Komori Beast, or Komori Breast, which is Japanese for bat, of course, and the Komori Cannon is his little bat dude. Then we got, as they call it here, Jaruga. Originally in Japanese, it was Jagura, which is Jaguar, So he turned into like this Baja-style racing buggy. They listed here as an off-road race car. And yeah, man, kind of cool that one got pulled off, because that was always kind of a weird design. And again, Jaguar breast, Jaguar cannon weapon. Very cool that that's there. Funny story with this guy. He was not in the original 2016 box set that we did back in the day, primarily because we had to work within those 5 combiners, and there's a whole story with that. And because he wasn't part of the box set, in order to kind of keep the character and the trademark alive, they put him instead as a standalone Creo minifig Creon item, where all the other members weren't part of Creo or Creon, just him alone in there, just to keep that alive. It's so funny how trademarking works, and how it's like, oh, we're going to do all the Liokaiser limbs, I guess, here, but not here, and then we'll do that there. But if this guy can't be there, we'll put him as a Creon and it'll stand out, but it doesn't make sense. Sure, So yeah, so he's part of it. Then we got Drillhorn. He comes with his Horn Beast. Of course, Horn Cannon is the name of his blaster. It didn't appear in the show, but I believe it was called the Horn Cannon. He turned into a drill tank. Pretty cool, again. And then we got Kill Bison, which I'm surprised they stuck with Kill Bison, but then we got Deathsaurus, so I guess they went with that too. We originally called him Iron Bison in the 2016 box set. And you have the Bison Breast, the Bison Cannon transformation. He was that CMW Gepard anti-aircraft tank, I believe. And this guy here, this was the big one. If you own the original, he was the nightmare of the set. He was the major gold plastic syndrome GPS problem. And because he was a combiner piece, that always made it kind of worried when you would combine it or uncombine it, the stress that could be put if you held on that area. So it's always great to get updated figures that on top of that, if they came from GPS origins, now you get something that's even better. And you don't have to worry about the old one here. So that's the whole team. Combines to make Liokaiser. Looks really good. 12 inches tall according to this. They say here they need 10,000 backers by Saturday, March 29th, 2025, just before midnight to make this happen. Okay, that's cool. I like how it looks. I like what's going on here. Let's talk about the extension stuff. So 10,000 to get it backed. The stretch goals, if you get 13,000 backers, and here's where I'm excited, Death Cobra is going to be part of this. Now, people who don't know who Death Cobra was, he was actually supposed to be the original 6th member of Liokaiser. He was supposed to be the left arm of the team. Of course, Hellbat got jealous, confronted him. There was a skirmish, and he accidentally killed him and blamed it on the Autobots. So Death Cobra really was this like one-shot kind of character, never got a toy. I mean, for the longest time, if you wanted something that kind of represented Death Cobra in your collection as a stand-in, there was the Transformers movie 2007 Target exclusive Reverb that was super limited, kind of had a Death Cobra color and look to him and was a helicopter. So that's about as good as you got. And even then, that was a tough stand-in to get your hands on. So now we're going to finally get a decent, good-looking Death Cobra figure that turns into his original Mi-27 assault helicopter, comes with his Breastmaster, the Breast Cobra that turns into the Cobra Cannon. Very cool. And what's even more awesome is they worked it out that if you want to leave Hellbat as the left arm, you could use Death Cobra instead as a transformation into a like shoulder cannon gun mode for the combiner mode, or you could make him, at least according to how it's written here, you could still make him the left arm if you want to replace Hellbat. So that's pretty cool that they made that extra effort, and it's great to finally get a figure that has not had one for over 35 years. That's very, very cool. And then, of course, when you keep going on the stretch goals here, you have the 16,000, gives you the electromagnetic nunchucks. I mean, that shouldn't be a stretch goal. That's kind of his standard weapon for Liokaiser, so why should the main weapon of the combiner be a stretch goal, especially a stretch goal this far deep? That should have been included with the figure. But whatever, I guess they got to do something. And then the 18,000 backer stretch goal is a stand. You guys know how I feel about stands. A lot of times I feel they're just a waste of plastic, a waste of space. And for something like this, I don't know. You know, it's like, I mean, if it was like a multi-stand and you have like the 3 jets and then the vehicles, and I guess you could use it as a display for that. But it really looks like it's just the one stand that kind of just put the vehicle mode. And then there's little slots for other stands. But, I mean, that would just be more plastic if they're including, I don't know. I've always felt that if you're going to give me a stand for a character that doesn't really make sense to have one, I mean, say, you know, and I get it, you don't want to use the plastic for the engineering costs of a figure that transforms. You know, give me a single mold, simple plastic sculpted wall plaque or something, a logo of a character. Give me anything else but a silly stand that just takes space. Or don't give it at all and save me $10. I mean, let's be real here. So, I don't know. I'm not feeling the stand thing. And again, for that to be 18,000 on top of it, if we don't get it, there's no tear that's going to come down my eye. Let's put it that way. Now, let's talk about, this is the elephant in the room in a lot of ways. Let's talk about the price. So, to get to the 10K, we're going to have to hope that this gets backed at $299.99, $300 to get this to happen. Now, again, I've always felt that Haslab items could work for retail, and a lot of times they just don't put it in retail because you could kind of charge more in what I call with the Haslab tax. Now, yes, of course, you could also argue, oh, well, no one's going to want to buy a Liokaiser in retail, and they're going to play it safe with the big name characters, and that's that. I don't know. We've seen a lot of other wacky stuff throughout the years, and we're in this kind of situation where I could see it happening, but again, I don't like what I like to call the Haslab tax going on here. And the reason why I say that is, look, he's a 6 combiner. We have Devastator that's going to be coming through Studio Series. He is technically 4 Voyagers and 2 Deluxes. Yeah, those 2 Voyagers are in a Commander box set, but that's how we're going to price it here. So the Commander, long haul and hook 2-pack, that's $89.99, times 2 for 2 Voyagers with Scrapper and Mixmaster is $34.99. And then you got Bone Crusher and Scavengers, where 2 Deluxes at $24.99. When you add that all up, that's $210 for 6 limbs. Granted, 4 of those 6 limbs are Voyagers, 2 are Deluxes, but they come with extra parts too and all kinds of stuff. But when you add it all up, it's $210. It's $90 cheaper than what this thing is. And granted, if all 6 members of Devastator were Voyagers with those extra pieces, that only adds like an extra $10. So it would put up to like $230. So where's that extra $70? So that's something where I go, there's the Haslab tax. It's a Haslab item, and we bake in the costs already with the backing items. So I guess that extra $70 is Death Cobra, is the stand, is the weapon accessory, which is like, is that really $70? So it's something where, look, I'm excited about this. I think it looks great. I think it really stands out and is a really awesome item and is a great opportunity for people to get this character. But much like anything else, the price is always brutal on these. It really is. And this is a $250 item that they're just pretty much at I'm going to give it $250. I won't give it $300, but I'll give it $250. But this is a $250 item that they're charging $300 because they can. And when you're talking an extra $50 across, I want to say how many different people that are going to buy this, when it gets to the 10K, the 20K, the 30K, that's a lot of money for Hasbro. And then they sit on that money for a year, and well, it is what it is. That's the finance side of it, like I always say when I look at this. But I still think it looks great. It's something that is interesting, and it's something that I'm very curious to see how the fandom reacts to it. I do like that trademarks were kept. I do like that everything else was kind of maintained in terms of the design and the animation. There is a lot of love going on here. This was originally back in the day designed by Kuniharu-san, so I'm very curious if he had anything to do with this one here this time around. But it looks great. I just feel like, again, that Haslab tax, that price that they always put on stuff, it's just brutal now. It's brutal. I think maybe that's just the world of toys that we're living in now, and one day we're going to be priced out. We're going to get to a point where we're going to hit an apex, and we won't be able to have products unless we're paying $500, $600 to get them at a high level. But let me know what you think about all of this. Still very cool. And again, I like the idea that, at the end of the day, we're going to be able to get something that doesn't have GPS, extremely animation accurate, and at least people will be able to, engage with it. And, elephant in the room, if you want to own the original Liokaiser complete, you're talking over $1,000 with GPS with it, so this is the cheaper option. Let me know what you think. And we have more to talk about because there's other reveals this weekend at the MegaCon in Orlando. So we'll talk to you here on the Transformer Slag podcast later today.